So my name is Rajiv Gupta. I represent a group called PB Fintech Limited that runs Policybazaar, Paisabazaar, apart from many other subsidiaries. Before I get into the subject, I thought it is important for us to understand what is the current ecosystem in this country, right? Today, we have roughly about 140 crore people living in this country, of which substantial number of people, around 60 to 70 crore people, live under middle class or lower middle class. And these people are the key segment which require trust to buy financial products. Of the 60 crore, 70 crore people I'm talking about, 90% of them don't think buying an insurance product is a necessity, be it health insurance or be it term insurance, because they all live hand to mouth and they don't believe that there is a real need to buy insurance. Nobody gets up in the morning to go and buy a health insurance. Similarly, in these towns and cities, people still borrow money from money lenders. They will take money of 1,000 rupees in the morning or 5,000 rupees in the morning and return back 1,200 or 6,000 rupees in the evening, without realizing that they should be a part of the banking ecosystem. Thanks to our government, the bank accounts were opened for most of the people in this country, and today we have large number of bank accounts. But unfortunately, most of these bank accounts remain dormant for most part of the year, because apart from the DBT, nobody really wants to practice banking in this country. So what are the core challenges we all face in this country? The three core challenges in my view, which are today affecting our financial prudence in this country. One, obviously financial literacy is missing, right? The entire ecosystem, including the government, will have to work towards building financial literacy for this large country, a country with multilingual languages, multiple states. Reach out to every town and city and teach people basic financial literacy in their own language. Second, the topic for today obviously is trust. Trust is one of the biggest challenges we need to address, because people in the larger pockets of the country still don't trust financial products very easily, leave alone digital finance. Third, how do we build awareness about the importance of these products? And that is where the challenge starts today. I represent a group which started Policybazaar way back in 2008. And as we speak today, every year we do about 35,000 crores of premium, right? However, is that enough? The country still continues to struggle with low single-digit penetrations, low health penetrations. So there is a room for at least 10 policy bazaars in this country. So how do we build trust-driven digital platforms in this country is the topic for today. And I can tell you, while India moves towards Viksit Bharat 2047, one of the sub-goal is also to have insurance for all by 2047. Also, we are facing a challenge of, while India is today taking pride in its young population, on the other side, by 2047, 30% of India's population will be senior citizens, at least 60 plus. And with longevity increasing from 75 years to say about 85, 90 years, how many of us sitting in this room or how many of us in this country are planning to protect us or our families with income post-retirement? So that's another area of concern, that how many of us are really investing in pensions today? How many of us are really putting money for our future protection when we start living longer, with joint family systems eroding? So there is room again for creating digital pension platforms so that our ability to reach larger segment of the people continues to remain high. Obviously, India over the past decade has witnessed one of the most remarkable digital transformations globally. We have built world-class public infrastructure, whether it is Aadhaar, whether it is UPI, and now account aggregator, which have all fundamentally reshaped on how financial services are going to be delivered in future. But Is digital access the issue or is the trust the issue? I think we have come a long way, right? At PB Fintech, through platforms like Policybazaar and Paisabazaar, we have seen firsthand how India has moved from limited access to universal availability, from agent-driven models to self-serve platforms, from heavy paper process documents to instant digital journeys. I remember when I bought my policy in 1990 from LIC, the first policy, it took about 60-65 days for the policy to reach me. And today, most of the policy documents are issued instantly. So access alone is not enough. Customers today are asking deeper questions. Can I trust this recommendation, which is digital? Is my data safe? I'm sharing my Aadhaar card, PAN card, and all my information. Is it safe? Will this product actually serve my needs for which I'm buying? Who is accountable? See, when an agent comes and sells it to me, or when I go and buy a product in an office, in a branch, I know where to go back. So if I buy something digitally, still there is doubt in people's mind on who's accountable if something goes wrong. So this marks a shift from financial inclusion to financial confidence. And that is where trust becomes the defining currency. So what does trust really mean in digital finance? Trust is often spoken about but rarely broken down in digital financial platforms. Customers must clearly understand if they are coming to a Policybazaar website, what are they buying, why are they buying, and what will it cost them. So when you simplify comparisons and show both pros and cons, customers come and buy and trust rises significantly. Second, data responsibility. Today, I think a lot of us know that we get calls from multiple people calling for real estate, calling for various other investments. Every day, I think at least 80 to 100 calls come on our phone, which we don't want. That is because we must have bought a product digitally somewhere. We must have shared our Aadhaar card, PAN card somewhere. So there is data leakage, right? But with frameworks like Account Aggregator, I think we believe that the customer consent has now become explicit. Without customer consent, sharing data is today considered, a breaking in law, and data privacy bill will ensure that those companies which are responsible for data leakage have to pay heavily to the customer. So the customer continues to remain the owner of their data. Trust is no longer about having data. It is about how responsibly you don't misuse it. Similarly, what do digital platforms do? I think they bring in personalization, right? In the early days, if all of you remember, or even in your times, when you want to buy an insurance policy or when you want to take a personal loan, somebody from a particular bank or a particular insurance company would come to you to sell their product. With digital platforms, you have the advantage of comparing all the insurance products available under one platform and choosing to buy what you think is best for you after comparing various options available. Similarly, when you take a loan, whether it is a home loan, personal loan, auto loan, loan for your business, digital platforms are a platform which offer you various features offered by different banks, NBFCs, and help your decision to be far more ethical, far more correct, Also, I think an important factor which digital platforms should consider is how reliable and credible you are as an organization. I'll just give you an example from the organization I come from. We have set up at least 270 claim offices across different cities in the country. As you see in our ads, our claim officers first reach the hospital before the customer if it's a planned hospitalization. The idea here is not only to sell, but when people buy an insurance policy, they buy because when they need it at the time of claim, somebody should be there to help them. So as digital platforms, I am not only known as a platform which only sells or pushes products, but also available when I need my claim to be passed. Now, what is the role of technology in all this? I think we have seen technology playing a significant role over these years. We are a completely tech platform. When we set up in 2008, people were wondering इंश्योरेंस वैसे ही कोई खरीदता नहीं है, डिजिटली कौन आके खरीदेगा, right? When we went to our first investor, they were wondering, why are you setting a digital platform to sell insurance? It doesn't sell. But I must tell you that today we deal with 1 million customers every day. When I say 1 million customers, at the end of each day, we are able to understand what those 1 million customers want, thanks to AI, which we adopted as early as 2019, summarize all the conversations we've had during the day, also understand if there are products which are required in the system, but they are not available. So we go back to the ecosystem, we go back to our insurance partners, and tell them to create products which can meet different demands. All of you must have heard about pay as you drive, right? Earlier, you used to pay one premium for your motor insurance. Today, if you drive less, if you drive more responsibly, the premiums you pay compared to others are much lower. So there are many new innovations which are taking place every day, and a lot of new products are coming. There is a different need for Gen Z, there is a different need for the middle class, there is a different need for senior citizens. So newer products are helping us to, sell more, and that is why today the kind of volumes we handle, we wouldn't have been able to handle without technology or without machine learning or without AI. When I get 1 million calls, if I'm even able to convert 12 to 15% of those customers every day, imagine the amount of applications I need to process in a day. I am not selling my own insurance plans. I am a platform in which you can buy any insurance company's products from my platform. So all my APIs are integrated with my partners. With API integration, when a customer fills up a form, that form is instantly available with the insurance company. And they are able to process that and issue a policy. If it's a motor policy, it is issued instantly. If it is a health insurance plan, it is issued in a couple of hours. If it is a term insurance plan, it is issued in a couple of days because it involves medical. So certainly technology is helping us to deal with large customers, and if we have to reach to deeper pockets of this country, to a larger population of this country, which I mentioned earlier in my speech, then it is technology and which is digital platforms which will help us to build up that pace. Imagine, if every pin code of this country has to be covered, large number of people still don't trust digital, right? So what we have done is in 98% of India's pin codes, we have identified local people from that taluka or from that village who using local languages are able to educate people on why taking a loan from a bank is more better, why buying a health insurance is important, why buying a pension product is important. This is only for education purpose. They don't collect cash, they don't sell, offline. But all these people who are present there are slowly and steadily trying to increase financial literacy, which I spoke about in the beginning. Second, regulations also have played a very important role, right? Compliance is so important. All of you must have heard about companies which have been regulated, where RBI or any other regulator has taken strong action. If we don't focus on corporate governance and compliance, this is going to be the fate of any company, be it of any size. So real-time KYC validation, fraud detection systems. For example, in insurance today, there are a lot of frauds taking place. People who are dead come and buy insurance, and they claim saying that they died after buying insurance. There are fake incidents of snake bites across the country. So all these fraud detections have become far more easier thanks to machine learning and AI, right? Today we are able to identify whether the person who's buying insurance is indeed the same person through video KYC testimonials. All this is happening only thanks to digital. And the more efficient we get using technology, the more people will be able to cover in this country. And trust me, I'm today in this podium saying that 4 or 5 years from now, you will see volumes which I spoke about for my own company will increase 3x, 4x. Such is the need of this, financial products in this country. Even in a place like UAE, there are 100 insurance companies. Whereas in India, for a large country like India, we only have 60, 65 insurance companies. So imagine the number of people who are going to come into this country after opening up FDI, after seeing the needs of this country. Companies which will focus on different states, create niche products. So this will also reduce risk and enhance trust simultaneously. Platforms like UPI, Account Aggregator, Ocean, which is open credit enabling network, and interoperable ecosystems. These means customers are not logged into any platform. Competition is continuously increasing. Even within platforms, people have a choice to go and compare before they buy. And trust improves when such platforms provide credible information, don't focus on cheating a customer, don't focus on being biased. So at the end of the day, it requires a very collaborative triangle. Industry has to work with regulators very closely, and both of us will have to work with policymakers very closely to ensure that we are able to serve every person in this country. India obviously has done exceptionally well here. Regulators like IRDA, RBI, SEBI have all taken progressive yet balanced approaches. I remember a time when insurance policies used to be missold. Out of 180 policies were missold. Thanks to new regulations over the last 15, 16 years, I think, while I'm not saying mis-selling is completely gone, but it has reduced dramatically. And that is what is going to happen as we move forward, right? We are encouraging innovations, we are ensuring safeguarding customer interest, and we are also building uniform data protection standards. So friends, as I rightly told you today, building awareness becomes very crucial. How do we build awareness? For example, there is a pharmaceutical shop, there is a medical hospital in every village, be it a government hospital or be it a private hospital. I think if every time you go and buy a medicine, if these medical shops can tell you or hand over a small, locally in local language, a written document which tells you why you should have health insurance to protect your family. Imagine one incident in the family can take back all your savings to zero, and you can go back to poverty line, right? So unless people are given a strong message, unless people are told how it is going to impact their lives, because India is a country where social security schemes are limited only to people below poverty line. So when you grow old with joint family systems slowly and steadily eroding in our country, who is going to take care of you and your family? Whether it is you and your wife, whether you and your wife and somebody else, I think at the end of the day, all the youngsters sitting here, today's 40-year-olds, are tomorrow's senior citizens. So start looking at, protecting yourself and families now itself. I think Deepak spoke about, power of attorney. Deepak spoke about, how to write nominations, wills, create family offices, have family trusts. I think all this is important provided you build the wealth, right? If you continue to live for hand to mouth, you don't have a health insurance policy, you don't have an income that can take care of you post 60 up to 90, what is the point of all this, right? So I think all of us should start building for our future. I think today AI frameworks are certainly helping us. They are helping us to become more accountable, more responsible. So to summarize, let me tell you what are the lessons we learned at PB Fintech during our journey, right? We have spent about 16, 17 years building large institutions. Policybazaar today is a unicorn. Paisabazaar is a lending platform. Now we are building PB Health, which is going to set up 1,000 hospitals across the country. The first 5 hospitals are coming up in Delhi NCR. Each of these hospitals are 200-bedded hospitals, and they are fully owned by PB Health. If you are in Noida, when you go through Noida, you will see the first hospital which is already operational. We have one operational in Gurgaon. The remaining 3 should be operational by end of this year. Now, what is the objective behind setting up these hospitals? Are we going to compete with other hospitals? No. The vision and objective behind setting up these hospitals is to provide affordable healthcare system for the middle class and lower middle class. The same treatment that would cost you 100 rupees, let's say in a large hospital, will cost you 60, 70 rupees in a PB hospital. And here, we are trying to reverse the way hospitalization is done. We are saying anybody who walks into a PB hospital will first face a general practitioner. General practitioner will certify whether she or he would require hospitalization or the medication will take care of them. Unlike today, what is happening when you walk into a hospital, the first thing they say is admit ho jao. Right? You go and show for something else, you ensure there are a large number of tests written to you, and you pay tons of money. So that is what we are trying to do, is we are trying to build trust. And trust takes time, but can be lost instantly, right? Simplification drives trust. So the more we simplify, we start speaking in the local languages, the more simplification we do in the processes, I think the more customers will start engaging with us. Similarly, in our company, we have created a digital platform, but we also have large number of employees who assist these customers when they call us and explain to them and guide them on how to understand different products. So that is called assisted sales with a digital model, right? Similarly, as I mentioned to you, servicing, post-sales experience is very important. No company can grow continuously for the last 2 decades if you don't focus on service. If people lose trust in you, nobody is going to come back to you. So what is the road ahead? The road ahead is the next decade of financial services will not be defined by who has the best technology or the most users. It will be defined by who's trusted the most. Trust will become a differentiator, a growth driver, and ultimately a regulatory expectation. Companies that invest in trust will see higher retention, better cross-sell, and lower regulatory friction. Let me conclude by saying that India stands at a unique moment. We have the infrastructure, the digital probably the best digital infrastructure. We have the talent, a young population which is the pride of any country, the regulatory vision. I think to build trust, most digital financial ecosystems in the world, but trust cannot be mandated. It must be earned every single day. And industry leaders, policymakers, and innovators, our responsibility is very clear, right? To build platforms that are not just efficient, not just scalable, but fundamentally trustworthy. Because I believe in financial services, trust is not a feature. It is the foundation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the patient hearing. Thank you.